What's up, YouTube? Just woke up, but I started thinking about something. Um, Now I'm pretty sure everybody's a fan of Spider-Man, all of these Spider-Man movies, all the Spider-Man comics. I mean, who doesn't like Spider-Man? Um, I can't think of anybody. Everybody I have ever met loves Spider-Man. A lot of YouTubers on YouTube that I've seen like Spider-Man. I really don't know of anybody that would not like Spider-Man, even if they're not a huge comic geek person. People like Spider-Man. Which I'm sure there are people that don't like Spider-Man, but so far I haven't met anybody. Um, but anyways, I started thinking, me being a big fan of Spider-Man. Now, of course, me growing up reading the Spider-Man comics, out of the movies, I would say really Spider-Man Homecoming was the best, movie set, because not only did he have the actual web shooter like he did in the comics, but he was also a little teenage boy, just like in the comics. He's young, I mean, Spider-Man did later grow up, Peter Parker Spider-Man, but he started out when he first became Spider-Man, he wasn't no 20-year-old dude. He was like, literally, he was 16. Um, but yeah, so I do draw more towards the Spider-Man Homecoming, but at the same time, nothing beats the original movies, as far as quality goes. Even though Spider-Man Homecoming was more like the comics, you gotta miss the original actor. I mean, you spend, years watching Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and then suddenly you're hoping the next movie, when you finally get to see Venom in that third movie, you're hoping the next movie has Carnage, Doppelganger, Toxin. You're hoping those characters get brought into the series. But then, the next movie, Spider-Man, what was it? It wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man. What was the name of their set of movies? Was it Ultimate Spider-Man? What's the name of those movies? The one with the, it's kind of like a British actor. It was the second set of Spider-Man movies. I know in the third set, Spider-Man Homecoming, which I believe they're about to make a second one to that. He was also British, but the second set had another British dude. I can't remember his name. I can't remember the name of the movie sets. Was it Ultimate Spider-Man? But anyways, in those sets, you get to see that movie, and yeah, it's more related to the comics, so you like it better, but still, at the same time, you've gotten so used to the original Spider-Man movies. You watch them so many times for so long that you're just more used to them now, even though they're less like the comics. I mean, I do think they should bring back that actor. I think his name's Tom Holland. It was the original Spider-Man movie character. I do think they should bring him back. Possibly. Make it, give it a chance where, he loses his Spider-Man powers and gets the web shooter. Make it a little bit more simpler without having to redo the whole thing over. Because obviously you don't want to start at square one. He's just now getting his powers. But you do want to make it with that same actor. But you do want to make it more like the comics and give him a web shooter at least. So possibly make it where he loses his powers and he needs a web shooter. I don't know. But, yeah, out of quality, that was my favorite movie set. Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Out of realism, my favorite would be Spider-Man Homecoming. The other Spider-Man, I think it's called Ultimate Spider-Man, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen that one. But out of that Spider-Man movie set, that would always land on second base for quality and realism. Like, it's like the comics mostly, but then at the same time it has those few small details that are off. So that's why it's second base for realism. And then quality, I mean the second one of that movie where it brought in what's his name? Electro? I believe his name was. Dude that turns himself into electricity. In the comics I believe he always wore that lightning green and yellow lightning bolt thing on his head and body. He had the 4 lightning bolts coming off his head. I believe that was the same dude. I think they're both the same dude. But I don't know, I really didn't pay much characters to the characters in the movies. I just paid attention to pretty much the actor. I mean, not the actor, the action itself, than the characters. When I watch movies like that, it's mainly for the action. So I don't know if he was the same dude that had the green and yellow suit that had the 4 yellow lightning bolts coming off his head. Or not. But I'm pretty sure they're the same dude. Because they both... But there's a lot of people that have electricity powers in Spider-Man. But they're both very similar in their power set. So I'm guessing it's the same dude. That one the second movie had a lot of quality though. The first movie, the quality was okay, but wasn't that good. So for quality, I would put it in between second and third place. But for realism, I'd put it in second automatically. Spider-Man Homecoming had the best realism. But I do think they should bring back Tom Holland, the original Spider-Man actor from Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. Because switch it up to where it's more real, but then have him play it. I don't know why, I just think he did the best. I like that one scene in Spider-Man 3. He's just getting the symbiote off of him. And he's going around going like, he's like walking slowly, snapping his fingers and stuff like that, and the song in the background is going like, here comes the sun, doo 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 doo. Here comes the sun, what I say, it's alright. But yeah, I did like that part of the third movie. I just now realized something about the first movie though. Did he lose his spider? Was that the point where? No, that was the second movie. Did he lose his spider senses at that point in time in the second movie? Because Doc Ock is in the bank. He's with his Aunt May, and he doesn't even realize Doc Ock is there at all until moments too late. Interesting. I just now thought of that. Because normally he would know about stuff like that just as they're coming in. He's like, then looks to the door and goes like, you're about to hurt somebody. Yeah. My spidey senses are tingling. I do like Stanley though. I like Stanley. He's awesome. Um Y'all know Mary Jane actually was in Spider-Man Homecoming. If y'all pay attention, Mary Jane was actually in that entire movie. She was not the girl that Spider-Man took to the prom or the ball or whatever it was. They weren't really seniors, so I don't think it was the prom. But anyways, a lot of people didn't notice this. In fact, I had to watch the movie a second time just to notice this. But so you know that girl that's at the lunchroom table with Peter and his friend that's standing outside of the what's it called? The Washington Monument, I guess it was. That's she's the one saying he's already quit this class. That girl is MJ, Mary Jane. So anyways, if y'all haven't seen this part, a lot of people miss it. But they're like in the class and saying, they're all together in the class, and they're talking, at the end of the movie, and she's like, most people, my friends call me MJ. I'm like, really? Because they're like, what is your name? And she's like, my name's, I forgot what she said her name was, but she was like, my friends call me MJ. Which Mary Jane Watson. So if you think about it, Mary Jane was Peter's stalker. In the original movie, Peter was Mary Jane's stalker. In this movie, Mary Jane is Peter's stalker. Always watching him. She even said at one point, "It's not like I'm stalking him. I'm just highly interested. I'm just very observant." That was what she said, not highly interested. She's like, "It's not like I'm stalking him. I'm just very observant." I'm like, "You're stalking him. You are stalking him." You're at every place where he's at in both Peter Parker and Spider-Man's life. Whenever Spider-Man comes in, you're the first one at the scene. Whenever Peter Parker's around, you're always near him. Even at the party, she's like, "Y'all guys came to a stupid party like this?" And the one kid brings up, "You're here." She's like, "Am I?" I mean, I'm pretty sure the only reason she came was because she knew Peter was coming. Ugh. Then she knows every class that he's been in. When obviously not everybody has all the same classes, but somehow she does. She has all the same classes as Peter. She's like, "He's done quit home ec or whatever it was." I forgot which class she said he's quit. Whenever they were saying that he might end up leaving that class. Oh, it was banned. But she somehow knows everything about him, so she's stalking him. But yeah, that was Mary Jane. That was Mary Jane Watson. Which, you know the story behind Mary Jane, right? Mary Jane was, in fact, never supposed to be in the comics. They were supposed to keep it as Gwen Stacy, the blonde head, super gorgeous high school girl that Peter fell in love with, and she fell in love with him. They were supposed to keep it as her for a while, but Stan Lee actually went on a leave of absence. He ended up taking a little vacation. And a lot of it was because of his military background. He was in the military. He actually, I believe he fought in one of the wars. I believe it was the Vietnam War. But yeah. He was actually, yeah, he did fight in war because he actually, a couple years back, they ended up going to all their Vietnam, fighters, and they gave them a medal. I believe it was in 2015. They ended up pretty much thanking all their fighters and for being with them. And one of the fighters they went to was actually Stan Lee. So yeah, he was in the war. Anyways, he went on leave of absence. And on his leave of absence, it wasn't for that exact same scenario, but it did have something to do with his military background. On his leave of absence, he put somebody in charge, one of his writers. And on his leave of absence, the writer killed off Gwen Stacy. Had her hanging from a Spiderman rope. The comic has already been sold. When he got back, he was like, "You better find a way to fix this or you're fired." And Stan Lee was mad. And so, yeah, he found a way to fix it. So, Stan Lee has a niece, little redheaded niece, that Mary Jane was based off of. I believe his niece was also MJ. I don't know if it was Mary Jane, but I believe it was also MJ. But, so anyways, he's like, hey, what if we got Mary Jane, little redhead girl, that, ends up Peter falls in love with and stuff like that, and brought her into the series. Of course, Stanley liked it right away, because, of course, that was based off his niece. How is he not going to like it? So, yeah. That dude, I believe, ended up keeping his job. I think now he's one of the most popular writers of Spider-Man right now. But if y'all don't know, Stan Lee's real name is Stanley, like one word, Stanley Martin Lieber. He ended up shortening Stan Lee to just Stan. He took out Martin and made Lieber just Lee. Stan Lee. That's his real name, Stanley Martin Lieber. He grew up Jewish. I know a lot more than what I let on to be. Not just about comics, but and so basically, I play this. I don't really play, but I act like that I'm so immature. I'm really more mature than most people I know. I just act immature when I want to have fun. When I want to get serious, I get very mature. I'm like, whenever I want to get serious, you notice a difference in me right away. But I like to be kind of immature to release my child side, like, hey, I'm just me being me, I'm having fun kind of dude. But I'm actually very mature. People rarely see it. I'm very smart. Financially, logically. I'm way smarter than what I let on. But because of me acting immature when I want to have fun, a lot of people don't see my true potential. And a lot of people take it too extreme and saying I'm just completely stupid. I'm like, how am I completely stupid? I'm better financially than you. I'm better logically than you. You think life is just this big orgy where you can do whatever you want, but yet you struggle with all your bills and stuff like that. How am I stupid? I know what's important in life. Not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just talking about people who basically take things to the extreme and say I'm stupid. Now, I call me immature because I do act immature a lot whenever I'm having fun. I do get serious too. The serious side is whenever you start noticing my more logical side. You start noticing that I'm actually my mom's calling.